Hey there. Welcome to the Eurostep, a Milwaukee Bucks podcast, proudly a part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network and GSPN, and presented by our pals at Prize Picks, where you can get $50 when you play your first $5 lineup, win or lose. All you have to do is download the app, Prize Picks app, of course. We're going to 100 million members this year, so buckle up. We've got 2 weeks. And use code Eurostep when you download the Prize Picks app and make your first deposit, or use the link in our description. I am Ti Windisch. I am joined by the just suave Rohan Katti. I love the sweater this morning. For the audio listeners, beautiful. Looks like, is that a wool or is it cashmere? Am I underrating you? Dark green sweater.
That's a good question. I should know what this is made out of.
It's some sort of, it looks like a very like solid fabric.
Yeah. It's not cashmere, I'll tell you that much.
Okay. Well,
subscribe to GSPN.info if you want to get a cashmere sweater. But also, you can pay $8 a month, get commercial-free versions of all of our podcasts, exclusive GSPN After Dark pods, which are just...
There's something.
There's something already. Bonus written content, all that fun stuff. And supports us. $8 a month. Make sure you check that out at gspn.info. But you know, Ty, I'm doing well. We're coming off an NBA Cup semifinal victory for the Milwaukee Bucks. They are building upon their trip to Vegas last year, where they fell at the hands of the Indiana Pacers in the semifinal last year. This year, they win. They're on to the Cup final in Las Vegas. They get a couple more days there as they play on Tuesday. But yeah, against a Hawks team that, you know, has just been a giant killer this year, managing to go out there, get a win, have some high-level defensive, offensive, clutch moment plays. The Cup's good.
The Cup is great. And I know there was a conversation, does the Cup matter? Yada, yada. First off, you were way ahead of this. One more win in the Bucks season is a success, baby.
There we go.
We can phone it in the rest of the way.
There we go. You get to hang a banner.
We're going to be right there. You do, and I'm with it.
They make you hang the banner.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. Why not? It's fun. I think they should hang division champion banners. Like, it all matters. And that is the conversation. Does it matter? It's not a playoff game, whatever. I have news to break to people who are arguing what matters or not with regard to the Cup. We're watching grown men we don't know bounce a ball for hours a week, every week. None of it matters. But if you like basketball, it all matters. Yeah. Every game, the preseason matters, the regular season matters, the Cup matters, and the playoffs matter. And I would say in that order. I would say the Cup does matter more to me than a regular season game. Does it matter less than a game 5 in the playoffs? For sure, but it still matters. And if you want it to matter, it matters. And if you like basketball, it's just fun. I mean, as a neutral fan watching Oklahoma City, Houston, it's just fun to watch intense high-level basketball, and that's what the Cup is giving us. And the Bucks clearly love it because they have now, you know, they've won all of their knockout games both years. They clearly take them very seriously. And they got, I would say, redemption from last year in multiple senses. 1, just not losing in the semi. 2, I mean, young athletic team with a lot to prove, with a dynamic shooting and passing point guard. I mean, I think there's a lot of parallels between Indiana and Atlanta, at least last year's Indiana and Atlanta.
Finals appearances?
Yeah, they've different orders, but yeah, I mean, I think this Atlanta team is legitimately good. And I think there's been I know they've lost to some bad teams. I saw long time, not friend of maybe this pod, I don't know if he's ever been on, but KL Chenard or Kevin Chenard, who, you know, we've known forever in the blogosphere.
They're a friend of the pod. Come on.
Well, I think usually it means they've been on. I don't know if we've had Kevin. We should have before the game. That was a fumble on my part. But he shared an injury graph showing a lot of their bad losses. They were without 3 core rotation players, including Trae Young. Bogdan Bogdanovic has missed a bunch of time. DeAndre Hunter, I think, has missed time as well. And that's obviously going to have a huge impact on you as a team. They're good. I think everyone underrated them coming in. That's a good team. They play good team basketball. They're a little offensively challenged. Trae's having to do a lot of lifting right now. But it's a good, solid team, and they defend really well. This was a nice win for the Bucks. A lot of things didn't go right, which we'll get into, but they kind of just toughed it out and won anyway. This was a game, and I know I've said a lot of things. I want your thought on this first, Rohan. We've had these games in the past where sometimes these games where the Bucks lose and Giannis is great and no one else is good enough, those to me are some of the worst Bucks losses because you're like, oh, this is the kind of game where if he ever does leave, it's this kind of a game.
Game
where it's
6,
like, oh,
Boston 2022.
Yes, that's one of the best examples where it's just like, though there's just not enough help for him. And that one was an injury, but still, the point remains, there's not enough help. That's why you get Damian Lillard, and Damian Lillard, not sharp to start the game, comes through in the second half, in the clutch, makes it happen when nobody else on the Bucks outside of Giannis really could. Brook and Bobby were pretty good, but offensively with the ball in their hands, Dame comes through. What a great feeling. What a just perfect encapsulation of why you make that move every time you have the opportunity.
100%. He comes through when it matters. Like, you wouldn't just look at his second half stats alone. 5 of 8 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3, 15 points. Only 1 turnover in that span. The first half was rough, right? We're not here to say that it wasn't. It was looking a little bit like last year.
Yeah.
In Vegas. However, second half really turned it on. Similar to the Magic game, really was able to close as the game was coming to an end. For some reason, again, is getting wide open layups in clutch time. Like, I don't understand how that's happening. That was a weird late game situation from the Hawks, I will say. But
I think the Damian's pick and roll just breaks brains. I think that's it. I mean, you're like, we can't let Dame shoot the 3. We can't let Giannis be in space. Like, if you're working that hard to take away those 2 things, there's only so much you can do then about Dame's drive. And that's why, like, he had the beautiful finish through Okongwu earlier in the second half. I mean, his rim finishing, to me, is a bigger deal than his 3-point shooting this year. It's opened up so much on that play.
I agree 100%, because most teams, when Dame is going to drive that pick and roll, they're just going to go all their attention to Giannis. Rightly so. If you're a defense, you're going to pick your poison. If it's Dame or Giannis at the rim, you're going to pick Giannis. You're going to load up on Giannis. One guy is not enough to stop him. You need both guys. You need 3 guys there. So that just leaves Dame to try to finish over like 1 tower. And it's like, if you can do that, then it's even more unguardable.
Yeah. His that floater to seal it just felt so perfect. So to recap the game a little bit, Bucks started excellent run. Thanasis courtside, so you knew they were going to win. I'm assuming he'll be at the final 2, which is a huge advantage for Milwaukee. Unironically, you won. I think I said this on a recent pod. You won. They need Thanasis. Recovery's going well. Not sure when he's going to be ready, but recovery's going well. Is what he reported. Did you see he had Giannis on Thanasis?
Yeah, no, Giannis just dropped in.
Yeah, Giannis said he'll do it once or twice a month if they get the Kelsey brothers bag. So, Amazon Wondery, pick up the phone because I want to hear more from Giannis because it was.
But you could also
fun.
Join GSPN. I don't know if we can provide Kelsey brothers bag, but we can provide friendship.
We can cut you in on GSPN Premium.
We can. We're gonna have to raise the price.
So think about that. Well, I think we would get more users.
That's fair.
So maybe we don't have to. Yeah.
Maybe we can lower the price.
Well,
I don't know about that one either.
I think the price is good.
It's a solid price. $8 a month is solid.
$8 a month. I don't know where I was. Giannis was great in this game all the way through. Oh, the game recap. Bucks started out amazing. Then the Hawks went on a run. And it was kind of back and forth through there. And it just felt like, it was one of those games where, okay, if we can get like 3 out of 4 possessions where Trent, Prince, AJ Green knock down threes, the Bucks will be able to build a lead and sustain it. Unfortunately, we never really got there. Taurean Prince 2 for 7 from deep. Bobby was 0 for 3. It's still a good Bobby game, to be clear. We'll talk about him later, but couldn't hit a 3. And Gary Trent was 0 for 4. AJ Green was 3 for 6, so he brought his part of the deal. And Andre Jackson Jr., who we'll also talk about, 1 for 1, and it was a clutch time 3 the Bucks really needed. Huge shot for the second-year player. But it was just one of those. And on the other end, I mean, the whistle was bad. I don't want to do a whole thing about officiating. Ticky-tack fouls. The Hawks were going to the line a bunch, so the Bucks had to be good offensively. So every missed 3 really, really hurt. But Giannis was tremendous throughout. The Hawks couldn't guard him. He continued to get into space and play one-on-one against Atlanta and had 32 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 blocks, 1 steal, and just 1 turnover on 10 of 15 shooting and 12 of 18 from free throw, which isn't great, but it is almost 67%, which is above his season average, so we will take that. But, I mean, what else can you say? He's making me look silly for saying he's not MVP. I mean, I said I didn't choose yet, but that was an MVP game on both ends.
Yeah, it truly was a two-way dominant performance from Giannis. I mean, wherever you need him to be, he was. Whatever role you needed him to play, he was. He was doing everything offensively, defensively. But the thing is, he was doing things very, very differently in both facets of the game. Whether it was Giannis just playing a little off ball in the second half, whether it was him carrying the load offensively when a team really needed him in the first half, whether it was playing rim protection defense, help side defense, isolation on the perimeter, he was doing everything he could on both ends in every single facet of both offense and defense to really will this team to a victory. And that's what MVPs do. That's what best players in the world do.
Yeah. So I don't know if we've heard this said specifically. Mark Jones of ESPN on Blue Sky talking about the Bucks and Giannis. Everyone waited on the block on Capella, which was eerily similar to the Sun block in the finals. Incredible play. Wasn't as close. I mean, Giannis got there a lot earlier and was all over that versus the Sun block was kind of a prayer. But regardless, a really incredible block by Giannis, of course, and a game-changing play. Mark Jones goes, I don't have the exact post pulled up, but said, great play here from Giannis, something like that. Doc challenged him to play DPOY level defense, and we're seeing it.
Mark Jones with another nugget of information.
Doc and Mark Jones clearly are chit-chatters. That is what I'm learning right now. I think Doc chit-chats with everyone. I'm just all over what Doc is doing. He's pulling so many good levers, saying so many right things. Hopefully everything's good with him and his throat guy. But it's just, I mean, it's a
serious thing. Yes.
Yeah, it's a serious thing. But
I shouldn't let it. Just the way he said it was so funny. But genuinely, it is a serious thing.
Okay.
Yes, hope all is good.
But the way he said it was, it's my throat guy. Like
the throat guy called and said, "I need an evaluation."
The crazy thing about that was, I feel like he didn't sound that much different. He has sounded the same to me for the whole time I've known about Doc Rivers as a concept. I mean, I don't know. I just don't like his throat guy must be really good because I don't know how you could tell a difference. Damn it. But I love that Doc is challenging Giannis to play DPOY level defense, and he certainly did in this game. This is something we've talked about, like the Bucks need more from him defensively, and he is still going to pick his spots to a certain extent, but also in addition to like the steals, the blocks, the limited turnovers, only fouled once in this game, even with the whistle being a little tough. So that shows he was able to pick his spots and be effective defensively without jeopardizing his own minutes, which obviously is a huge deal. And that's one of the hardest parts about playing a lot of defense if you're a star player is if you're too physical, you can then end up costing yourself minutes, which you really, the Bucks could not have afforded any less Giannis in this game. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I think just looking back at the Orlando Magic game for the quarterfinals and this game, it's just night and day, right? You see a lot of differences between Giannis in terms of like how he's carrying himself offensively. Is he sort of like trying to dispel these myths and getting a lot of charge calls? Is he trying to play too physical defense? Trying to get too much into it, kind of gets baited by players. No, that was not the case in this game. That kind of happens with Giannis sometimes, where he'll get baited into doing things in the heat of the moment. Nothing crazy, but just like charges, foul calls. But that was not the case in this game. Like you can see, locked in Giannis is just a different level of player, and that's what we're getting in these, NBA Cup semifinal games.
Yeah, 100%. He even. Giannis dives for a ball and gets a foul called. Like, he was just excellent defensively. I love this quote from Andre Jackson Jr. and Eric Name of The Athletic's piece recapping the game about when Giannis dove on the ball to secure it after getting that steal, which he was going for that wraparound poke the whole game. That must have been in the scouting report. So I feel like he doesn't usually go to that often defensively, but he had missed a couple and given up buckets. He got that one, though, and forced the turnover.
He loves to do that in isolation.
He does, but if I 3 or 4 times in one game feels like a lot. Maybe they were just going after him more than I'm used to seeing, though. Ajax goes, him going that hard makes me want to go even harder. When that happened, it was right in front of me. He got a piece of the ball and he dove, and I felt like I was supposed to dive for it. It just made me play with a little more urgency. It's just like you got to give to get.
I wish someone other than Ajax was saying that.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
I was like, Ajax, what you're already doing that.
Yeah, what more can you possibly do? Khris dove, but picked up a foul. But yeah.
Khris.
And then Doc also called it a winning play. Let's talk about Khris.
Yeah, Doc was already bent over trying to get those loose balls.
Dude, Doc is he's just like pure comedy.
You know what? We've come around so much on Doc.
How could you not? If you're still anti-Doc, you're not paying attention to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's valid.
I think he's crushing it this year.
Yeah. Like what else could you ask for more? What more could you ask for is a better way to say that. Just the way he's locked in this team, the way he's sort of like figured out what levers to pull, like you said, it's been a great doc year. Plus it's fun. It's just funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
we get more. We just get more than we've ever gotten before.
We get so much like just content. It's great. Yeah. It's just fun. I mean, it's just funny.
I saw him talking to the assembled media after the game. I saw some clips and I was like, I know he's going to be in his bag up here. And sure enough, like they ask him about the intensity of the cup and he starts talking about like how the younger generation needs to just compete more for the sake of competing. I was like, hell yeah, Doc. Tell him. Tell these kids.
Remember when he said before they went to Vegas and it's like, oh, they're going to have to bring out the wheelchairs for the Bucks because it's just 3 young teams.
You can tell he loved that bit because he kept leaning into
Milwaukee Bucks.
He made like the same comment like 4 times in a row. You know, he thought that was hysterical.
It was.
It was. They said he should have been in a wheelchair after the game, which I would have thought is pretty funty.
You should ask Paul Pierce. He was there.
Yeah, he was coaching him. Damian Lillard. Oh, no, sorry, not Damian. Damian Lillard, we talked about. I will say 3 steals. 2 more plays. Dame, the steal to seal the game after his floater. Incredible play.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he picks his spots, but he is capable of some really nice defense. I mean, and apparently that was a steal. I think that could have been a block, too. He rotates to the help side, gets up, and basically steals/blocks what would have been an alley-oop attempt.
Yeah.
That's a crazy play for your point guard to make. I think that kind of went under the radar.
There was also another play where he got called for a foul on like a Dyson Daniels fast break. I'm like, watching that live, I was like, did he just meet Dyson Daniels at the summit?
Yeah. I think his other hand might have got him or something. But yeah, that was also a really good play. Dame had 3 steals in this game, led the Bucks. He's, again, like, I comp him to Steph. He is a net negative, but he'll come through a few times, and that makes up for a lot of it. On defense, yes. On defense only. Thank you. I think a slight net negative, but every time he's able to have one of these games where he can get you a couple turnovers, I think those are such positive plays that then he probably swings to being a slight net positive defensively. But he's just, he's not going to be able to guard bigger guys and, but I think he makes good rotations and he really does try to get those, those steals and those swipes and
like
it's more athletic.
Like Marcus likes to say, it's those boxing reflexes.
Seriously. It pays off.
Yeah. Walton Goggins is getting him right.
Walton Goggins to play a role on defense. Khris Middleton, we've got to talk about.
Yeah.
It was an okay game for Khris, and then toward the end, he just tried to force it, and the Hawks were just all over him. I think athletic wings are going to be the guys who give him the most trouble. I will say, I think defensively, he's actually been very sound since coming back, and that's really reassuring.
It's like the only time he plays like he's 6'8".
Yes, 100%.
Which is good. I'll take that in one facet.
Yes. Offensively, he still had 4 assists in 22 minutes. He also had 3 turnovers. He, for all he does well,
kind of broke down in clutch time.
He just should not be the one handling the ball. I mean, we've talked about this so often. And I'm not saying you say this, it's like I tweeted something like, love Khris Middleton, always will. maybe let's give the ball to Dame and let him start the sets in crunch time. So many people are like, oh, I don't trust him to play this and that. No, I didn't say any of that. Khris has been a huge net positive since returning, even though the shot has been a little rough. He should be the guy catching with an advantage. He should not be trying to break down, Jalen Johnson or Dyson Daniels with no space and no screen help, because he's just never had that good of a handle. That's Chris's worst attribute to me is, he's not breaking guys down on the dribble. Dame can. And Dame showed as soon as they gave the ball to Dame, I'm getting to the rim and I'm scoring and icing out the game, basically. That means still have to play defense after that. But let Khris be on the side. Let Khris cook after you run something else or with some space. Let's not overthink this. Let's give the ball to Dame a little earlier in crunch time and let him do his thing.
100%. One of the issues with this is the lack of ball handling for the Bucks, really. It comes down to that. When teams are just doubling Dame in the backcourt, trying to not let him catch an inbounds pass, you have to give it to Khris. What other option do you have? And that I think it speaks more about the roster construction for the Bucks more than it does about Khris Middleton. But I do agree. I agree with everything you said. Don't get me wrong on that. Khris Middleton, this is a problem we detailed back last year. It's been a problem for a while.
Longer than that even. Yeah.
Where you just can't let Khris bring the ball up the court because teams are just going to swallow him up. They're going to call Doc Sky.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I was going to make that joke if you didn't, so I'm kind of mad. Yeah.
But it's just, it's tough to watch out there. And you saw it with Khris. They had to use the Bucks' final 2 timeouts because Khris Middleton got the ball and just one guy went to him and he was like, I can't do it.
The second timeout he called, I was like, that's probably your worst play of the game in some respects, just because using the last timeout, you crossed half court, you have a lot of time. Just wait for someone to get open and get the ball.
Just pass it back to Dame. Dame was right there.
Yeah, that to me made really no sense. And that's what, again, like...
Dame went up to him after. He's like, I'm right here.
Yeah, I know. I feel like still getting back into his rhythm, maybe physically and mentally. And again, I think he's moved well. Again, he gets taken off the dribble, or he gets his dribble taken. That's not new. I think defensively he's looked good. I think he's still really helpful. He's still getting into his flow. Like, the shot isn't all the way there. I'm still not worried. If we're like this in a week, I think he's going to heat up pretty soon here. And he had a couple nice ones too. I made 2 shots, but I think we're going to get there with the shooting. But yeah, it's just he should be a secondary or tertiary creator for the Bucks, not a guy. And again, some of the bench units, he's handled the ball and it's worked. Yeah, quaternary. But in that moment, with the Hawks are pressing and it's that intense, like, let's just not overthink this, and let's not let the other team decide to take Dame out of the play. Let's work to get the ball back to him. You know what I mean? Like, let's inbound it, bring it up the court, and then free him with a screen, and let's go from there. And that's one thing that I think the Bucks sometimes settle too much. I think they settled a couple possessions, and it worked in Atlanta's favor. Thankfully, Milwaukee's defense all night, outside of that brief run in the third quarter when guys were getting straight line drives, Atlanta kind of realized what the Bucks were trying to do with leading players and just drove the other way. The Bucks defense was great in the half court. Like, it was really good, and it was great in crunch time too. I mean, they allowed no good shots to Atlanta. They rebounded the ball much better. I want to say Atlanta only had 7 offensive rebounds. The Bucks had 6. So whenever that number's a wash, that's really good for Milwaukee. They don't even really go for offensive rebounds. They are the worst team in the league.
It's just
in terms
Ajax.
of offensive rebounded. It's pretty much just Ajax, and then sometimes
who
Brook,
tries. I will say, like, Bobby will get him, but it's only Ajax who tries. I can't even say
he can get back too.
Yeah, he doesn't get them very often, but
he
he'll
did
try.
have 3 in this game. And then, sorry, I'm looking up the fast break points. There were a couple bad possessions, but overall,
does one offensive rebound count for when he missed that dunk putback? I think that counts as an offensive rebound.
Yeah, because he grabbed it. Yeah. That's an offensive rebound.
So we'll call it 2.
No, that's an offensive rebound.
Now, practically, it's not. I'm saying.
Oh, because he grabbed it, missed it, and then grabbed it again.
No, he grabbed it, missed it, and went right to the Hawks. It was like all in one motion. He tried to put back dunk it.
Yeah. It probably does, just so they can score it. Milwaukee outscored Atlanta in fast break points. So, again, if you're able to if you're the Bucks and you are close or better in fast break points and in offensive rebounds, you're probably winning most games. Because those are not the things. Those are the things that generally hurt you. So the game plan was really locked in. Atlanta did not have a single 30-point. Oh no, they had a 34-point third quarter. But outside of that, 21 in the first or in the second. Oh my God, 28 in the first, 21 in the second, just 19 in the fourth quarter. I mean, really, it was they got beat on drives by some of Atlanta's others, and then Trey was just incredible in that third quarter. Outside of that, I thought the Bucks defended him very, very well and did just a really excellent job overall defensively.
Yeah, you can still see Ajax as a young player because Trey's just putting. Yeah, he's just putting this. Turning
the 3-point foul. I thought it could have been challengeable.
I thought that could have been challenged. It was an unnatural shooting.
Yeah, Trey moved into Ajax, so the Dame gets those two. The difference is if your arm or hand is going around the screen to stay with the guy and they can pull up their arm into your arm, it's a foul. And it looks stupid, but it is a foul if you would be pulling up and there's an arm tangled up in there. Ajax was a little farther behind, and Trey literally jumps and puts his elbow out into Ajax and gets that call and gets the shots. I mean, the difference in what was a shooting foul and what wasn't in this game was frustrating. And that call alone, because I get some of them AJ Green's one, I think it was his 5th foul on the baseline where he does the shoulder or the chest bump and he does make the contact. It is technically a foul. So he barely chest bumps Trey and he flops it up. I'm like, you know what? It's a foul. It's annoying, but that is a foul. I get it. The ones that actually aren't fouls do bother me. That one on Ajax was tough, but I will say Ajax guarding Trey versus literally everyone else on the roster outside of maybe AJ Green, huge difference.
So different. I think AJ Green was probably the second best, but it's anyone else, it's just food.
Gary had a couple good ones late. Overall, I didn't like his game. He was crucial in the very late game with a couple nice enough possessions, but it was not the same level as those two guys.
No, not even a little bit. But I think, Ajax tried. Well, I don't even know how we got here.
We're just talking about the defense in general.
Yeah, the defense in general. I thought they really turned it up when they needed it to. Giannis was the linchpin for that. Wasn't the best Brook Lopez game I've ever seen in my life.
It was better than the last several.
That's what I was about to say. Because it's better than what we've been seeing recently because it's been a little bit of a downtrend for the big fella. But being able to come out there and play solid defense, but also make some shots.
Yeah,
when they
7 for 10 from the field,
3 of 4 points in the fourth quarter alone. Just
he was the third leading scorer. Yep.
That's how you know. Brook Lopez plays the entire fourth quarter because he's needed in those situations. When you have a Capella out there, when you have a Kongwu out there, you need to be able to match the double bigs. And if you want 2 bigs out there, it's Giannis and Brook.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a Kongwu and Capella. A Kongwu is going to make his devil magic threes sometimes.
Dude.
It's just ridiculous. He had made, 8 threes on the year coming in, and 4 of them are against the Bucks.
Shooting 23% overall. The part where I was they might just lose this game and there's nothing you can do is I think Trent and Prince had both missed wide open threes, and then Okongwu nails one with a hand in his face on a flying closeout. And I was like, all right, man, if you're opening up great looks for your 40+% shooters and they're missing, and the other team's backup center, who's been a rising star allegedly for 5 years now, is hitting him with a hand in his face like this, maybe you're just not going to win the basketball game. That's what I mean when I say it was nice to see the Bucks beat a good Atlanta team and not everything went right. This wasn't a game where they were just hitting threes throughout and they just won for that reason. It was a really tough game to win with the way things like that were going, and the Bucks just made it happen. I also saw a lot of discourse about, the Hawks are just not hitting any twos, it's an outlier game, blah, 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 including on the actual TNT broadcast. Maybe can we look at they're not hitting twos because the Bucks are defending really well? This is not an isolated incident. This could happen again. This is not the Bayshore parking structure. Shout out to the Bayshore Parker here. But at Brook, I thought, maybe he was not making all the splash plays. In his minutes, the rim was gone again. He and Giannis really took it away. The Hawks' spacing offensively is not that good. They just don't have that many shooters overall. And Brook and Giannis were able to be great. Brook had a game high. Do you know what his plus minus was? Do you have it up in front of you?
I don't have the whole game plus minus in front of me right this second. 16?
21.
Ooh. Can you do something for me?
No one else on the Bucks was above 8. And that was actually Gary Trent Jr., which is hilarious because he was 0 for 5. But Brook, I think, made a big impact defensively, and they needed him to hit shots in this game for sure with Khris still rusty, and he did. And again, I want to shout out Bobby Portis, who I think is trying harder defensively, made some good contests, is still not a perfect player, will still have bad possessions.
Someone telling someone, hey, you need to play DPOY level defense. He's like, I'll try my best, coach.
Exactly. He did. Shot 50% from the field, made 5 twos, 10 points, 9 rebounds in 23 minutes. Like, he has rebounded really hard lately. Those possessions where the ball hits the ground in any lineup, but certainly more in the Bobby lineups, I feel like those are just not happening. Bobby is flying in to get these rebounds. That's a great thing for this Bucks team. Also had 2 assists and a block, so continues to be active. The Bucks lost his minutes. I don't think it was his fault. Their bench just was not ideal in terms of shot making outside of him and AJ Green. And they tried to have him as the lone big. Not good. Doesn't seem to work. I think they need one of Brook or Giannis out there until they pick up B-Ball Paul. Maybe. I don't think he's that good. I don't think
you
he's
tried
bad.
to trade it for Bobby 2 pods ago.
I'm off that now. Well, you know what? It worked.
That's good. That did work. The reverse.
The Bucks got an effective backup big. It just is the one they already had.
There you go. That's all you need.
It's freemium.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about the Bucks defense, by the way? They held the Atlanta Hawks to a 99 offensive rating.
Yeah. I mean, it was really stout. I saw Justin Garcia shared they have the second best defensive rating in clutch scenarios this season.
That is
Orlando's
true.
is really crazy, but Milwaukee's is.
Cleveland has like a plus 50 net rating in the clutch, which is insane. I think the Bucks have it's less than 10, but it's still positive. But their defense is really good. Their offense just breaks down too sometimes.
It's weird. I still think there's another gear they can hit with Dame and Giannis, but I mentioned Bobby Portis, 2 assists. Big deal for me and my prize picks lineup because I did an NBA or basketball plus football lineup here, which was very fun. Actually, I can say NBA plus NFL. It's got it here in the app too. On prize picks, which again is where you can win up to 100 times your cash by picking more or less on at least 2 player stat projections. But I've got a full 6-pick flex play here, and we're looking good heading into football Sunday. So for the Bucks part of things, Bobby, more than 1.5 assists. He has been on a slight assisting streak, and he did not make it an easy one for me. It was not a no sweat pick, but he did get the 2 assists. At AJ Green, more than 7.5 points. He knocked down 3 threes, so he got there with 9 points. Thank you to AJ. Damian Lillard, more than 3.5 threes made. This was feeling a little suspect getting close to halftime, but he did knock down. I think he had actually 2 by the half, so then I felt pretty good. He ended up with 5 made threes. And then this was a weird one. Trae Young, more than 3.5 rebounds. He's just been rebounding a lot, and he plays a lot. He had 7 rebounds, so that was another very easy one. Now, for 2 more things to make this 6th pick a full success here. One of them, I love this about prize picks. Patrick Mahomes, more than 0.5 passing yards. I feel good about that one. I think I don't think Roger Goodell is going to let Pat here go 0 on the passing yards. And if he somehow leaves the game, and that's why, well, I've got pick protection, so it won't destroy my lineup anyway. So shout out to Prize Picks. AJ Brown, more than 5.5 receptions. Here's the thing. Nick Sirianni is a squeaky wheel coach. AJ Brown says, passing game's not working. We need more success in the passing game. He might have 6 catches in their first drive. I think they're going to try and address this. I think Sirianni's going to go and help me out there. So looking for those 2 things to make it a full 6 for 6 W. You can get on the action too. Maybe by the time you're hearing this, the football is already going, but this game's all day. Packer game is this evening. You could certainly have time to get in on that. Plus the Cup. Bucks Thunder on Tuesday. That's going to be a great time. There's so many sports going on right now. It is the perfect time to get in on the action on Prize Picks this week. I already told you about this lineup. Dame made threes. I love. And AJ Green and Ajax, those guys, if you have a good feel on if they're going to have a good game or not, they end up having some pretty low projections too. So those are all ones to look for. Download the app today and use code Eurostep to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That is promo code Eurostep on the Prize Picks app. Win or lose, build that first $5 lineup. You get $50 to play with instantly. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, Rohan, who else do you want to talk about from this Bucks game?
Let's talk about, this is a good, let's talk about AJ Green.
Yes.
So AJ Green fouls out of this game. 3 of 6 shooting from the field, all of them from distance. Played some solid defense on Trae Young.
Yep.
I don't know how to feel about this game from AJ.
I saw someone said they should have gotten a down stock.
But also, it's like, I could have seen him get an up stock. But I also get it.
I didn't agree with the down stock.
We didn't give him one. But I also get why you would feel that sometimes.
Do you?
A little bit. Because it's like sometimes the defense is hit or miss. Sometimes he makes some dumb fouls. It's just really stupid sometimes. It's like, you're a good defender. Like, why are you doing this? You were clearly, like, he went on a run by himself in that, what was that, the third quarter or the second quarter? Where he was just lighting it up from distance. And then you're going out there and you're getting yourself kicked out of the game for fouls.
It was brutal. I mean, he would have closed that game for sure.
It's just really, really, really unfortunate.
It is. And the turnovers too. He had 2. He like once every game or two, like there'll be an action where he's near Dame or Khris or someone, just kind of lazily bounces the ball and it just gets picked off. Like, and Ajax had a bad one too. It was his only turnover. Again, he's really cut those, I would say. But he kind of tries to whip one to a cutting Bobby Portis and it just goes out of bounds. Just like take a second. Let's not rush things. But AJ Green, I thought, it was a good game by his standards. It was not a great or a perfect game. And again, he's also a young player working to get better. I think we're seeing it in real time. But I didn't think down stock when I looked at this because I thought there were enough good defensive plays on an excellent offensive player in Trae Young, and he was able to give that impact offensively too. Great to see him break out of. I know he had a couple of rough shooting games recently. That was not the case in this game. And I'm still really high on AJ going forward and a little surprised. Oh, it's because he fouled out. I was going to say I'm surprised his minutes were lower than the other 3 bench players, but he was in foul trouble and fouled out. So that's almost certainly why. I want to talk about Ajax, who I think is evolving as a player in front of us. I really do. I'm higher on Ajax than ever. I think defensively, he is going from a guy who we've said, he's an energy guy more than a defensive guy. I think this last week I've been watching him and thinking, I don't know, I don't want to say elite yet, but this is a very good defensive player at this point. Like, you watch him hound full court on these guys. He got a couple turnovers on Trae. I think he forced him to dribble out of bounds once or twice. He swings toward the dribble when a guy's going to cross over. He comes very close a lot without putting himself out of position. It's very disruptive. And there were times in, I would say, the second quarter, maybe early third before the Hawks run there, he would just take Trae out of the game. They just couldn't get the ball to him. And then they didn't have any offense. When Trae was not playing on the bench and when Ajax took him out, they didn't have anything they could do against the Bucks defense. That was elite, just ball denial defense from Ajax. Also in this game, knocked down the clutch 3, 2 for 4 from the field overall.
He's
unfortunately missed that
37% from 3 on the season.
I think before that, so it might be slightly higher now.
And
it's another good percentage.
The shot still looks bad.
I don't want him to change it.
No, it's it doesn't. It's weird because you watch the ball as it's up in the air and it's ugh.
I think sometimes it looks normal. I think those are his bad shots.
Yeah, but sometimes they go in still.
Because he's so open, he's up to 38.1% after this, because he was 1 for 1. He doesn't take very many of them. 37% last year. Obviously, really low volume. I don't want him to mess with the shot form. If it's working, just keep it up, because you're going to be so open. You know what I mean? If you can get it to go in and you have a low launch angle, that's going to be just fine, Ajax. Really just like the way he is playing lately and think he is a hugely helpful player. He also had 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, just the 1 turnover, 4 fouls himself, and the Bucks won his minutes. I think he is going to be very, very crucial in this OKC game trying to guard Shea. It's going to be really interesting. Houston was able to be very physical, and Shea still got to the line. But I think for me, if you touch a guy while he's shooting, it's free throws. I understand it. It can be frustrating when guys flop, but like I get it. It is technically a foul. It's like the jostling around screens and stuff that started to get called. And when Atlanta was in the bonus, that was really frustrating. Houston was able to be very physical with OKC in their cup game. If Ajax can do that, it'll be a big help, but he's still going to have to be extremely careful guarding Shea because we know Shea loves to get to the line. And that's going to be probably one of the keys to the game is can Ajax stay in the game and make the most of his defensive opportunity. But I think he has really taken a step forward and really bothered a great offensive player in Trae Young in that cup game.
100%. I mean, a lot of those fouls that he got were like those weird, like he's got him on his back fouls. That's not really how Shea plays either. So
no, you got to watch your hands with Shea.
Exactly. So, and I think Ajax has done a better job of that than just being out of position. And I think he'll have he's not going to have an easier time guarding Shea, but he's well suited to guard Shea than Trae.
I will say, I think
who's better, Trae or Shea? Shea, right?
Shea.
Yeah.
And even outside of just right now where they're at, right now way better Shea because Trae's in a shooting slump. And you could see it. There were times he passed up shots where he shouldn't have, and I think that was kind of factoring in. And I know he's never been a super efficient jump shooter, but even by his standard, Trae is not shooting the ball right now.
And he had a good shooting game against the Bucks.
He did, but there were still, I thought, moments when like he got a little separation and like passed it out to Jalen Johnson or someone.
Nicolay's own.
Oh yeah, loves playing the Bucks. Although didn't have a great game in this one. Loves playing in Milwaukee. Maybe that's just that.
Loves when he gets Bobby Portis at the rim.
Yeah, well, Bob tried. Well, he didn't have to foul him. No, that one was bad. Yeah, that was probably my least favorite Bob play. That or dribbling into the not the contested, but dribbling into the long two. But honestly, I was
like Kevin Garnett's back in practice when I saw that.
Yeah. I wasn't even that mad. I wasn't even mad.
I wasn't mad at that shot.
I was like, I disagree with it, but you're in rhythm. You're feeling good. If you feel more open there, like, go ahead, Bob. They need your offense.
Yeah, I wasn't even mad at that shot.
No, I didn't. I analytical brain. I'm like, I probably should have just dribbled and taken the three, but he was in rhythm. He was open. Like, why not?
Yeah. But no, Trae Young, a little bit of a shooting slump for him. But yeah, he's gonna have his hands full with Shea. That's for sure. Shea also way bigger than Trae.
Yeah.
So good thing Ajax has the size.
Yeah, Ajax is big, and that gives him that. I think was part of the reason he's so good on the smaller guards. Is it's just there's not a lot of daylight when he's on you like that. It's hard to just see and even make the pass. So. Yeah, huge challenge for him. Huge challenge for the Bucks. I mean, I'm really excited for Bucks Thunder. I think it's going to be a really good game. The Thunder did not shoot well against Houston. The Bucks did not shoot well against Atlanta. This could be a game that certainly comes down to like are Trent, Portis, and Prince hitting threes or not. And for the Thunder, same deal. I think Lou Dort actually shot well, but their other guys really weren't hitting. I know Caruso has not shot well on the season thus far. Let me actually pull up this box score. Lou Dort was 5 for 9, but the Thunder team as a whole was 11 for 30. And that is one of my, I don't think concern is the right word, but one of my questions for them in like a playoff setting, which this is playoff like, is do they still have enough shooting? And I'm not sure. And I do think the Bucks had a statement win against them last season in the Doc era with all three of the big three playing when they were just really physical and knocked them out of their spots. They're going to have to play like that again if they're going to beat this OKC team.
I mean, like, Kason Wallace especially. Like, he's having a bad year shooting the ball compared to last year. It's ridiculous. What's he at this year? He's at 29.8% from three this year after he was 41.9% last year.
Wow.
It's bad.
And they've had so much go wrong, I feel like, in a small sense.
Your starting two guard is less than ideal.
But they just keep winning.
I know that's the thing because they're just such a good, solid team overall.
Yeah,
it's going to be a tough match. This is going to be if the Bucks beat the Thunder, it'd by far be their biggest win of the season.
Yes.
Well, one because you win the NBA Cup. Actually, no, it wouldn't be their biggest win of the season because this isn't a regular season game.
It's their biggest win of the year. How about that? It would be their biggest win of the Dame era. Well, no, game one, Indiana.
I was like, you've had some playoff wins.
Not many. It would be their biggest non-playoff win of the Dame era.
Yes.
How about that?
No, they did beat the doors off Boston last year.
I think this is bigger. Boston had their excuses built in.
They didn't play their guys in the second half. Like, come on.
That's not. I think that's.
Hey, I've heard the Bucks should rest their guys for this game.
I think that's bull. By the way, like they didn't play their guys because they lost so bad when their guys played. Mm-hmm. Like I don't buy. Like the Bucks just beat them. The Bucks play that team well. I don't care what anyone says. The Bucks play Boston very well. Can't wait to see how they play Oklahoma City. So for their shooters, Dort is actually just having a great year from beyond the arc. And then Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins off their bench shoot the ball well too. And then Shea is at 34%, starting to shoot them more, but has not been a great three-point shooter.
That's going to be Williams a key for the 38%. Bucks, though, getting Shea to shoot from distance, especially because Ajax is going to, again, he has less of a size advantage against Shea than he does against Trey. And you have Brook and Giannis in there. The thing about OKC is they're going to let you play Brook and Giannis both because of those shooting things that you were talking about earlier. Yeah. So, especially like when you have Hartenstein playing big minutes, you're going to let Brook play big minutes.
100%. To your point on to the point on the shooters, they also Caruso plays a lot. Actually, 20 minutes. They limit his minutes because he's injury prone, but 25.9% there. So they have a couple of rotation guys sub 30%, and then Hartenstein has not made a three yet this season. He's only attempted a couple shots. So
I'm surprised he's attempted a couple.
He's at 0.4 attempts in 10 games, so it might be literally 2. So the Bucks, I think, need to play that to their advantage, but you have to be careful for these shooters. Like you don't want to lose Isaiah Joe or Wiggins. Even though Wiggins is shooting a better percentage, Isaiah Joe is really the shooter. And then J-Dub, Jalen Williams, is a good shooter, but doesn't take too many. I mean, you got to watch for him there, but I really think it's Joe and to a lesser extent Wiggins and kind of Kenrich Williams on the outside, although he doesn't play a whole lot.
Yeah. Heat of 20 for J-Dub is tough.
What, in the cup game? Yeah.
It's just tough.
Yeah, I mean, Houston's just a great defensive team.
I know. Like, when you can stick just so many guys on him, it's just tough. Like, Houston's good. Do you think Jimmy's going to go to Houston?
I don't think he gets traded still.
You don't think so?
No, I think he's just pouting.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think Pat Riley's going to be like, you want to pout? Get out of here.
No,
then what's the plan?
But they're too stubborn to give up, though.
Yeah.
That's why. The Heat would not take back like Tari Eason, Steven Adams, or Fred VanVleet or whatever in picks. I don't think. Because they're delusional.
Yeah.
They're Delulu. They're like, oh, no, we'll take back Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for Jimmy Butler. Like it's a star or nothing. They're so greedy in trade talks, which is why they don't have Dame now. Because, oh, no, we're not going to give you all that. It's you should be honored that we're trading with you. So just give us your player for nothing. They belong here. So no, I think they're literally too delusional to get a deal done.
That's fair. We are seeing some trades though in the NBA.
Yep. Dennis Schroder to the Warriors, which I thought fair price.
Fine.
Yeah, get him out of the East. And I was wondering if a team would cough up a first because he's been incredible to start the year. I think it would have been a clear overpay to give up a real first for him. And it was 3 seconds for 1 second. And the Warriors sent Melton, who's out for the year, and a two-way player to just be a young point guard on the Nets. I thought it was a good fair deal all around.
Yeah, you get some more ball handling versatility with the Warriors, who's kind of started to hit the wall.
Yeah, I haven't seen this comp made much. I think he can play the DiVincenzo role for them there. Like just cut into the space Steph opens up. Like I think
he's very I like that.
I think he makes a ton of sense there. I thought the Lakers would go get him because they're also delusional, but like Rob Pelinka is like
somehow Dennis Schroder was the most delusional person in that partnership when he was in the Lakers.
Yeah, which is crazy. What did he turn down 4 for 80?
Yeah, and then signed like for the mid level.
Yeah, I think he's on like 12 right now, so he bounced back a little bit, but yeah, that stings. No, I think he'll be good in Golden State, and they needed him. I don't think they'll make a big trade either because they're scared.
I heard no, but they're getting LeBron and or Jimmy.
Yeah, okay.
And Giannis somehow. All of them.
Yep. I'm sick of the way people cover the Warriors. Like, let it go. They're a mid team now. Cover them like any other mid team.
Yeah. It's like it's the end. Part of the journey is the end.
Yep. The Pacers acquired Thomas Bryant.
It's all Draymond's fault.
Because their centers kept getting hurt.
Yeah, that's fine. The Heat. I love seeing Heat fans being like, okay, just like, sure.
I still remember. I hate to call him out like this. Adam McGee telling us that he's going to be a problem in Miami. We're like, I think that time has passed for old Thomas Bryant. Okay. I know he's a Hall of Famer in the Hall of Fame because he was in the screen when LeBron broke the scoring record, but I think that time has passed. Hilarious. Hilarious.
Like, got him sealed.
And then the other piece of news that I think we talked about earlier, was that on pod or before pod? B-Ball Paul. B-Ball Paul. The Pistons released B-Ball Paul. No, that was on pod. Bobby Portis discussion. I think that was on pod.
I don't think it was.
I don't know. Well, B-Ball Paul got released by the Pistons. I would give him a look.
Sorry.
Yeah. I would give him a look. We chat before the pod for like 20 minutes. We can't stop talking enough to actually start the podcast. It could be its own. No, it might be. No. B-Ball Paul Reed. We're going to do this thing where we just say the nickname every time. Who was that when somebody had to ask us? Boss Man. Is he still in the league? Is he still on the Kings? No,
is he still on the Kings?
No, yeah, because 10 days aren't open yet, so it must have been a real contract.
Yeah.
Whatever, I don't care, really. Paul Reed, B-Ball Paul. Enemy of Doc, but I think Doc's gregarious enough to mend the fence there. Gets released by the Pistons, and this is more.
Oh, he was an enemy of Doc, yeah.
Well, I don't know if there's actual bad blood, but Doc told reporters to stop asking him about Paul Reed. So Paul Reed probably didn't love that. Paul Reed did get better under Doc, and I think Doc is gregarious enough to mend the fence. Personally,
I think so too.
Anyway,
here's the thing:
he's available. Just quickly, it's like interesting enough, like just a big flyer, an athletic big, right? That's what we've been saying we want to add to the Bucks. I went as far as to say trade Bobby Portis for him, which is aging like milk, but that's okay. Getting Paul Reed for free, I think, is a worthy flyer. I know a lot of people just say he sucks. I don't think he sucks. I just don't think he is like this promising young developmental player that he was seen as. And I think people were tired of hearing about him because Shams tweeted about B-Ball Paul probably more than he tweeted about Khris Middleton for like a 3-year stretch for some reason. And he's not that good. He didn't merit that coverage. But I do think he's an intriguing young defensive center. I think he's better than our guy Liam Robbins, who has not had a great start to his season with the Wisconsin Herd thus far at all. And I would like to see him get a chance if the Bucks had a roster spot. The Bucks do not have a roster spot. However, the interesting thing about Detroit cutting him before his deal guaranteed for the season is today, as we're recording, the salary floor, you have to hit it to not lose out on the luxury tax payments. And the Pistons do not want to lose out on their share of like $20 million. Or maybe they probably just get $20 million.
What?
Because there's more than $20 million being paid in tax.
Oh, yeah, no, I think it is $20 million.
So the Detroit Pistons, if they don't add some salary today, lose out on $20 million.
Tom Gore is in this prison. Aren't going to let that happen.
Dude, $20 million probably like gets you pretty – well, prison's probably pretty expensive. It helps you with the prison business for sure. So they're either going to sign someone –
maybe they shouldn't meet the salary floor.
I mean, yeah, if for the greater good, they for sure shouldn't. But from Detroit's perspective, they should. They're going to either sign a player. They can just sign a vet man – or take on a salary. They have 2 roster spots and like $15 million in cap space.
They also have to meet the roster requirement, don't they?
They have like 2 weeks.
Okay.
I've been calling the Pat Connaughton trade to there for a long time. I think it could happen today.
It could. It genuinely could. Here's the thing. I think they like having Pat.
I do too. I might be too expensive because he has the player option.
I think that's also part of it. I think it's like Marjan have fun.
I would not be surprised.
It's still on, right?
No, because I think he's probably the closest guy not playing in the rotation, so I don't think they'll just get rid of him. Maybe if he asks for it. I would not be surprised if you're John Horst, you call and say, you get the Marjan flyer if you take on PC. They have 2 roster spots and enough cap space to do it.
Who do the Bucks sign in 2 weeks then?
B-Ball Paul today and Thanasis toward the end of the year.
Oh.
Or Markelle Fultz or Lonnie Walker. I mean, there's some good players out there.
That's true. But I think Markelle Fultz right now is better than Paul Reed.
Yeah, I think so too.
Plus, that alleviates some of the ball handling responsibilities with Khris.
Does it though? They're just not going to guard him.
Well, you have a guy who can bring the ball up the court. How about that?
Yeah, I know, but I
have him bring the ball up the court, take a timeout, and take him out. And then inbound the ball.
Oh, Khris can do that much. Khris can post up at 80 feet from the hoop and advance it over the center line and call timeout. We've seen
Khris
that.
is going to be the first guy to get a 5-second back to the basket violation in the back.
I can't even. That's how I play too. I don't have a very good handle. If I get scared, I just post up anywhere. It's like a turtle going into its shell. It's very comforting.
You're in the grocery store and you have that awkward interaction where you're both going one way versus the other way. You just start
post up. It's safe. Listen, me and Khris both. You got a big body. You get it between you and an obstacle. It makes you feel safe. Guard the cart or guard the ball.
Guard Admiral Schofield in the pasta aisle. The Oak Creek mine.
I'm not trying to post Admiral Schofield. He's too big. That's frightening.
But no, I think the Pistons are an interesting trade partner for the Bucks. They always are. John Horst loves talking with his old buddies.
John Horst is going to include himself in the deal.
He's going to be like, please, guys. I tried. They won't let me.
Could you imagine just like Pat Connaughton, Marjan Beauchamp, and John Horst for a 2nd round pick? It actually, if the Bucks wanted to acquire Paul Reed, it would make more sense for them to trade, open a roster spot, and sign him versus trading for him because of the way his deal was structured.
Yeah. Because you get him for just a straight min.
Yeah, versus non-guaranteed, like some like $8 million and then another year after non-guaranteed. Like it wasn't horrible.
It's a weird contract.
It was. Remember, they put in like if he makes the 2nd round, it guarantees, I think. Like Utah was trolling the Sixers.
Yeah.
Very funny.
It didn't end up happening, did it?
Nope, it did not. So that's why they can waive him for free, because the Sixers did not make far enough in the playoffs.
Yep. Weird time. But yeah, trade season's heating up. Players are eligible today, December 15th.
So that's the other. That's why people are like, oh, the Pistons have something lined up, because it's literally the day a lot of these guys can get traded.
Yeah. You think they're sending out? You think they're buyers?
No, because the interesting thing, and I said this to Laz Chance, longtime friend of the pod, that one I will say it outright. Sorry, KL.
I was like, what did KL do?
No, because Laz has been on the pod.
That's true.
KL is a friend. Kevin is a friend. I think they have too many real players now. Like, I don't know where they would buy.
That's true.
Last year, pre-Fontecchio, Pat Connaughton plays a lot for them. Yeah. They just didn't have real players who knew like where to be on the floor, how to move the ball, like how to drive. Like now you got Beasley, you got Harris, you got Fontecchio, like
Tim Hardaway.
Thank you. It's just not as appealing. If they are buying, I will say
and
center. Well, yeah, of course they have Cade. They need a center. Duran, I think, has not been it. They could really use a defensive big, but I don't think they're going to buy that because that's expensive. And I think a contender would probably be willing to pay more.
And at that point, like, why cut Paul Reed?
Right. Yeah, that's the other. I mean, if you want a guy who's, I guess, just better, but yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, Detroit also now half a game out of the play-in, and that team they're right behind is the Nets, who just traded their best players.
Yeah, so they should be. What if they ate Capella?
I don't think you can do that legally.
The salary. Not literally eat him. Rohan, thanks. The Hawks have been trying to get rid of him for a long time.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I think he's just a very solid center. They're just like,
especially with Trey.
Yeah. Like, I know this was a popular opinion for a long time. Are we sure Okongwu is better than him? I kind of feel like he's not.
I don't think so. I think he could be, but he's not. But he also could be for the last 3 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can only be theoretical for so long.
I don't know. It's just, I think Capella would be really good for them.
Yeah.
I think they would need, I'm trying to think of another guy who's like on a team
Centers are just really valued
Bam?
right now. No, I mean, they're not going to get Bam. They're not going to.
Oh, that'd be funny.
I mean, they could get one of the Portland guys, I guess.
Doo-wop wreath season.
You know what? Actually, I'll stake out a claim here. Bold prediction, they trade for DeAndre Ayton today.
Ooh. Oh, he's meant to be a Piston.
He's meant to be a Piston. The
Monty Williams is like, oh, wait, no. He's like,
oh, damn it. Oh, no, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait.
Okay.
No, he's not.
He's gone. Yes.
That's
my
JV's
bold
problem.
So I don't think they can't just absorb him, but they could send back a little bit of salary. And now their free agents should be all tradable now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think they're going to go get Ayton. I think I wouldn't even hate it. I don't think he's very good, but give him a chance. Cade pick and roll partner for the next couple of years. That was my take.
He's gonna have those face up jumpers are gonna just He's
gonna drive them crazy. They're gonna get to the play-in game. They're gonna lose because of Ayton. Then they're gonna be in the same spot the Blazers are in. Like, how do we get rid of this guy?
And the Suns.
He's new age. Oh my god, I can't remember his name. The goofy backup on the Sixers. Andre Drummond. He's the new Andre Drummond.
Goofy.
He's goofy.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
Not in like a super derogatory. He's just a goofy guy. Mm-hmm. But it's the same deal. Like, we're paying this guy way too much money to not be a serious player. If you can get him on vet min, he's good because he's just very talented. But he's not a franchise center who's going to help you be a very good team.
No. The Suns figured that one out. What's up with the Suns?
Hurt.
Yeah. It's just like, what are they, 12-2 with Durant or something?
Yeah. That's literally it. Like, when KD plays, they're awesome. I think they just won again in his first game back.
Yeah, and then they're 13-11 on the season overall. It's like, ooh, that's bad.
Wild. Yeah. Bad. Like, maybe figure out how to be at least passable without him. But the West is just, the Kings are in 12th at 13-13. They would be 8th in the East.
13-12? Oh, the Kings.
No,
sorry.
The Kings are in 12th at 13-13.
That's what we realized. I should stop trying to correct you because I'm just wrong. That's
not usual.
Could you go get a big from the Pelicans? Ha, joke. Funny.
Yeah. No, you could. Well, maybe Zion.
Yeah, Zion's going to love playing for the Detroit Pistons.
Cade
and Zion would go hard.
Don't worry. Hey, that's the thing about trading for Zion. He doesn't play. So it doesn't matter what team he's on.
That's true.
Doesn't even have to move there.
Yeah. I saw someone say, like, oh, you're going to make D'Anthony Melton fly to Brooklyn on a torn ACL. First of all, you can fly on a torn ACL.
Yeah, it's just I'm sure he's got the surgery by now.
No, it's like the swelling.
In a boot. Oh, yeah.
But I saw someone say you can have like braces and stuff that prevent that. But also, they're not going to make D'Anthony Melton go to Brooklyn.
Yeah, I feel like he probably doesn't have to. Like, what are you going to make him do a physical? Like, he's out for the year.
Yeah.
What are you checking?
He's hurt. We're telling you that straight up. Did you not know this?
Unless you think this is a weekend at Bernie's situation and the surgery went really wrong. And again, it's, as dark as it may seem.
Still out for the season.
Yeah, would the Nets care? I mean, I don't know.
But yeah, no, they're not making D'Anthony Melton go to Brooklyn, I don't think. They're not going to have a press conference for D'Anthony Melton and a two-way guy.
I hope they tweet the graphic.
Oh, I hope so too.
Acquired D'Anthony Melton.
Yeah.
I think I saw they're going to have like 2 days if they want to try and flip him at the deadline too, to take on another contract. Like, they did it just early enough so he's like tradable again if they aggregate him.
Okay. Look at Sean Marks moving. Yeah,
I saw someone tweet like Marks is going for it with Brooklyn the other day, and like I got confused. I was like, did they rehire Bobby Marks? And I remember they have a new GM named Marks.
Yeah, who's better?
He's accomplished about as much.
I think he's accomplished more than Bobby Marks.
The team has accomplished
the same,
as much or less. Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
Less, actually.
Less, because they've won playoff series under Sean Marks.
They did under Bobby too.
I know. Is it just one?
I think the same. Yeah, they beat Boston, and then Boston came back and destroyed them.
Yeah. It was 21, yeah.
I think they got as far as the KG Nets team.
Yeah, making it to the second round.
Yeah.
Because it was kids' first year and they won a playoff series.
Yeah, but they just won one, right?
Yeah. It was just one series and then Kid was on his way to Milwaukee.
Yes.
Because Sean Marks was like, or Bobby Marks was like, no, you can't take my job. Like, even though Bobby wasn't the GM, I'm just pretending this happened.
Yeah.
Fun time. I'm not sure how much. What are your thoughts on Bobby Marks?
I would like him on the podcast.
I know, me too. That's all
I enjoy his analysis, generally.
I enjoy him as a character declining his wife's.
To do what?
He was doing like this recording a video in his car. He's like, "Oh, my wife's calling. Let me just decline that."
He's pretty funny. I mean, he got fired up about this one Bucks thing or whatever, and the Bucks fans were mad at him. But his cap stuff I find interesting.
No,
and
me too.
funny.
He's very good at that, and I just thought that like
that's very funny.
It's so funny.
Yeah, that is. I'm looking at this Nets roster. Brook only played 17 games that year.
Wow,
unfortunate. He didn't get traded, did he? No, he signed with the Lakers.
No, he got traded to the Lakers.
Oh, was it that year?
It was D'Lo.
Is that why? Oh yeah. Oh no, it wasn't that year though. He was just hurt.
Yeah. No, D'Lo was way after the KG Nets.
Yeah, I forgot how long they just had Brook there. That's why he's a scoring leader, I guess. Technically still led them in points per game, just didn't able to play that much.
Wow. Take that, Paul.
They sent Joe Johnson to the All-Star game for averaging 16, 3, and 2.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's not right.
I mean, I guess they just felt like they needed to give them an All-Star.
I guess.
Yeah. ISO Joe.
Crazy.
Andre Bloch finished 13th and 6th man of the year that year.
So by your logic, he's what, the 78th man?
No, I'm trying to be more fair. I'll call him the 19th man. I'd put that in my Twitter bio. If 19th man of the year, 2014.
I'd take that, 100%.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
Yeah. Instead of dealing with ISO Joe, now the Bucks got to deal with Isaiah Joe on Tuesday. I brought it back.
There you go. Nice, thank you. Yeah, we were lost. We were lost in the woods. So
Isaiah Joe and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I can't wait. Yeah, that's the guy they put on the graphics, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's Tuesday at
7:30.
7:30. Thank you.
Prime time.
Yeah, in Las Vegas. What a bad crowd.
Yeah, hopefully they figure that out for the final.
Yeah.
Like, give some tickets away or something. Like, just fill it up.
You just come on.
I thought it was just going to be the early game, but both games were like that.
Yeah, it was strange. I mean, hopefully it should be. I mean, Bucks Thunder is a good matchup.
Is the NBA app going to trash it?
God, it may not be the marquee matchup we were looking for. Like, really?
Like, two of the best 4 teams in the West? Like, what did you... I mean, come on. The crazy part was, I mean, that's for sure AI, right? That makes those things?
Sometimes.
There was no author. There was no author on it. I think that was the AI game preview. So that means the NBA's AI has learned to also disrespect for small markets.
I mean, yeah, they feed it all the evidence that the NBA's done. So
exactly.
Here we go.
The game, let's see, is it on the NBA app? It's going to be like, we know you're not going to watch this. Click back here after. Small market
teams, how dare we honestly show this game?
Click back here and we'll give you the recap. Instead of watching this game, here's LeBron's highlights from before he mysteriously disappeared. I was going to say,
instead of this year, watch the Lakers win the NBA Cup last year.
Yeah.
Against the Indiana Pacers. We'll only show you the Lakers' possessions where they score.
Watch Bronny's best bench sellies.
Is he finally playing a road game?
He did, and he played well in it, actually.
There we go.
God, I hate that I know that.
Oh, man. But yeah, Bucks Thunder 7:30 NBA Cup title on the line. I will say, I very much, it's exciting. I will say in 20 years from now, people are going to be like, how many, they're going to be counting in-season tournament titles.
Yeah, 100%.
You have to start somewhere.
That's why we need to get Taurean Prince his second one.
Yeah. He's going to be he's going to have a Danny Green-esque run.
Yeah.
Of like 3 straight.
Pat McCaw.
I prefer Danny Green because Danny Green actually played.
Big Shot Bob.
Big Shot
Rob.
Big Shot Rob.
Rob. Big Shot Bob is Bobby Portis.
There we go. That's what I was thinking. I was like, what are you doing? When did Bobby become a big shot player?
So on Tuesday night, we're going to be live after the game, so make sure to subscribe to YouTube. The pod will be up on audio shortly after, but we are going live with Jordan Tresky to break it down.
Yeah, and we may have another preview in there for the game.
Working on some crossover content.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll leave you there. We'll say thank you for listening to this episode of the Eurostep here on Blue Wire and GSPN, presented by our great friends over at Prize Picks. Make sure you check out that link in our description. Also a fun link in our description, like I talked about earlier, gspn.info. Get an $8 a month subscription where you can listen to commercial-free feeds, exclusive GSPN After Dark pods, written content, bonus content. Great stuff over there, and it helps support the team. But yeah, no matter where you're listening to this, watching this, make sure you subscribe. Podcast platform of choice, YouTube. Leave a 5-star rating and review on your pod platform of choice. Subscribe to the YouTube. Hit those notifications because we will be live after the game on Tuesday, win or lose, to talk through the Bucks' hopeful NBA Cup ring ceremony. That happens for the next game, right? The next home game.
I don't know. Do they have rings?
Yeah, you get a ring, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You get that trophy. You get to hang that banner.
Hell yeah.
Banner night. Ooh.
Doc's going to be going crazy that day. I need it. I hope we get it.
Doc's asking Dame for his $500K, right?
He doesn't ask for money, but he'll ask him to cover their next 10, steak night and boxing nights that they do.
Dame, I heard you got this $500K just burning a hole in your pocket.
But Doc gets it too.
I know, but he doesn't worry about that.
But that's what I'm saying. He's not going to ask him for money.
He's like,
you got this. I saw that Tissot commercial. You got this.
Yeah.
By the way, real quick, that Tissot commercial stinks.
No, it's great.
They should sponsor us because we could tell them how to do a good ad. Yeah. It's just a beat.
And review their watch.
Dame is literally a rapper. Use his song. If you're just going to have him making these weird motions to just a beat, it makes no sense. It looks like a reference track for the real commercial.
Tissot, hit us up.
He's just like, and it's just this weird beat. I'm like, what, is something going to happen? No, nothing happens.
Just flexes the watch.
Weird.
Oh, we're going to watch.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but yeah, pod random. We'll talk to you next time.